This is Smithy.tv.
Okay, welcome to 5 Questions with Jeremy LaLonde. I'm Jeremy LaLonde. My guest tonight, this morning, whenever you're watching, viewing this, or listening, is the wonderful filmmaker Gail Harvey.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
There's an elephant in the room.
Okay, come clean.
Yeah, we had a small glitch, and this is our second take at this. So
15 minutes of great talking.
It's amazing talking that only
and now
myself,
I'm going to do it again. Now it's going to be boring. Right?
Only myself and Bonnie and Gail will ever know the genius that was going on. Lives were changed.
Just give me the 5
questions. Okay. But before we get into it, even though we've had this wonderful conversation, I want to just get out of the backstory and just talking about. So you started off in stills.
I did. I was a photojournalist, and I worked in Toronto as a freelancer, and then I got hired by United Press. I was the third woman hired in the world as a photojournalist for United Press, which was cool because we had a forward-thinking boss named Bob Carroll who figured in a kind of roundabout, not sexist but sexist way, thought a girl could get in places guys couldn't. So
see, this is even better.
She's a good photographer. I didn't say that the last time. That's right. And she's a great photographer, so he hired me. There were 4 guys and me. So.
Not only does she look good in the skirt, but she can take a nice picture.
People will flirt with her and let her take a picture. I'm sure that's what. I'll phone him and ask him. I'm pretty sure that's what he thought.
That's still forward thinking.
He was great, just great. He was an amazing photographer as well, and so I got to work with some amazing people and do some amazing things and cover some amazing stories. And
had you gone to school for photography, or what was your
psychology? Which I kind of use every day as a director.
Which is not unlike a... Well, that's a good blend.
Yeah, no, it was good. But I always wanted to be an artist, always, when I was a kid. But I was always drawing and painting, and I still do that now. I still draw. Actually, I draw a lot on my iPhone with the paintbrushes thing. When I'm
What's
bored,
the app for that? She's going to pull it out. Can we see a drawing?
I don't care. Sure. Hang on. Paintbrushes.
This is so exciting.
There's one.
Oh, those are good. Look at that. Can you hold it to the camera?
Probably a little tiny thing. You can't see it.
Can you see it okay? Yeah. Nice.
I have lots of them.
See, look at
this. I do when I'm bored.
This is already way more.
It's a whole new interesting interview, right?
That's fun.
Yeah, it's good. I do it when we're lighting and stuff like that. So I was always creative, but I wanted to go to an art school. But I was also good in music, so they put me in the music program. My mother didn't want me to go to an art school only. I had to go have a general education, and whatever that is, yeah. And but she did go down and complain because I got put into the music program because I have perfect pitch. Actually, my dad's a musician, my brother's a musician, and so they wanted me to go into music. But I wanted to go into art, and that was really dumb because it was a crummy art program there, really.
Where did you go to school?
Riverdale Collegiate.
So you're from
the East End of Toronto, yeah.
So I'm from a small town, so there's one high school, you have no choice. You're going there, and they have an awesome shop.
And you take that.
Yeah, you take shop. Where it's like, that's why I'm excited to have, because I have 2 kids, and so when they get old enough, it's like, they can actually go to specialized high schools.
Do whatever they want. Yeah, I've always encouraged my kids to follow their dreams, actually. I think it's important. And anyway, so I remember I was traveling and I bought a camera and I took pictures and, I thought, wow, this is cool. This is related to art. It's cool. So started being a photographer, and I loved the real world, so photojournalism was really important to me. I met a couple of photographers from the Toronto Sun, and I started hanging around there, and they hired me. I think it was groundbreaking because at the time, people would say, there weren't any women photojournalists. There still aren't. It's like directing, right? Like I'm often the only female director.
Which is crazy now.
You think about it. That's like 2013. I'm going, okay. But it's true. It's really true. There aren't very many of us, and we're all good friends. There's like a handful that work all the time. So touch wood.
With a little bit of fierce competition? No? Yes? No?
Oh, there's lots of competition. And, I think, too, that as a female director, you really can't. If you screw up, you're gone, right? And then they'll never hire another woman. It's like if a guy screws up.
Because they put you all under one.
We had our woman, Yeah.
It's so funny. I was at the Center.
Mind you, it's not only like that. I just want to say that, like for Shaftesbury, for example, I did a series, Bloodletting and Miraculous Cures, and there were 3 of us: Rachel Talalay, Kari Skoglund, and myself, and one guy. So that was
you
cool.
Guys were tagging
Yeah, we
up
were.
on him. That's so funny. But just to piggyback on what you were saying earlier, I was
Yeah.
at the Santa Barbara Film Festival about a month ago now.
Right.
And it was interesting because they had 3 panels. They had
Yeah.
a writer's panel, a director's panel. No, they had 4. A producer's panel and a woman's panel.
Uh-huh.
And it was interesting. I was talking to, I can't remember if it was Zoe Palmer, but we were talking about, it's like, well, why didn't they have any women on the directors or the writers panel?
Right.
And why only have a women's panel? Why can't they just be integrated?
Right.
And I wondered if it wasn't because they would just be signaled out as the woman on the panel. Because they had like a documentary guy, they had an animated guy.
So they had a bunch of guy panels and one woman, and no women on the guy panels?
I didn't know. I couldn't do the producers panel because it was after I left. But the writers and the directors, it was all guys. Which is so. But I wondered, do you think that as a female director, that it's like you just get a lot of questions of how does it feel to be a woman director, as opposed to questions where I wonder if. As on a woman's panel, you might just get actually that stuff.
No, I think that's segregation. It's bullshit. Actually,
that's true.
I do, but I mean that is just it's a fact of life. That's the way it is, and I think that in film there's probably more females. But even look at the Academy Awards. Look at
It was just recently that.
Yeah,
a woman
she wasn't even nominated this year.
Yeah.
And. We won't discuss the Oscars and that whole thing because I did think some of that stuff was pretty funny, but definitely misogynistic.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Do you get when you get interviewed? Do you typically get the typical same questions about being a female director in the industry? Do you find or has that
I
gone
guess
away?
it usually comes up, but I have to say that for the most part, I'm pretty respected. I've been, I'm called a veteran director, which I go. Oh,
does that feel good or does that feel shitty?
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. But
well, because
but I mean it is, but it is just the way it is. It's run. Yeah. It is run by men, and and a lot of them are really, really good friends of mine. Because I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm just saying that. They don't hire. Certainly, it's not 50-50.
No, and you direct all the big shows in Canada. I mean, you're on Oscar, Murdoch, and Doyle.
Yeah,
and which is a nice. They're all.
It took me a long time to get on the 1-hour dramas, though. When I first started, I was directing half-hour kid shows.
What was the transition like? How do you? I mean, I'm a young director. I can't get television work.
It's very difficult because there's much less drama and people that have been working for years and years and years aren't working. Right? So I'm grateful every time I get a job. It's just the way it is. What was your question?
I'm just curious. I guess it's hard to ask.
How do you do it? Right?
Yeah. What would your recommendations be to
Don't
people?
quit.
Don't quit.
Just keep going. Right? You can't fail unless you quit. Really, I think. And I mean, I know it's you're editing. That's good. You need to make money.
Yeah.
Because you have kids, and I had kids, and I needed to make money. So I did photography for a while, but then people got confused. And I was like, is she a photographer? Is she a director? Whereas I'm both.
Yeah.
And I'm an artist, right?
God forbid you can do more than one thing.
Yeah, or love more than one thing. But I don't know. Just hang in there, keep praying. I guess that's what I did. I worked. I directed everything. I did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Just to learn, you learn every time you do something. You learn, right, and then make your own work as well, right? Now it's so easy. When I started, you had to have, I had a 35 millimeter camera and everything, and I shot a movie with no money that got nominated for 3 Genie Awards. The Shower, and my first film was in the film festival in 1987. That was a short film about a guy named Wayne Pronger who had cerebral palsy. It's called Uphill in a Wheelchair, and
which you need to get online.
Yes. I'll try and do that. I have one of those big tapes. I don't even know what kind of one of those things. Somehow I have to get it transferred.
Just hold it up. Just put it on Facebook and
say,
does anyone have something that can take this?
Yeah, turn this into a
YouTube
digital.
video.
Yeah.
Nice. You'll get a bunch of nerds that
will know how to do it, right? Yeah.
If I can't find the answer to something on Google, I put it on Facebook, and I usually have.
You know what? I've gotten so many
people,
amazing things on. When I was doing the film I shot this year, Looking at the Original Sin, again, a film that we did with literally no money, but telefilm, absolutely no money, but with the actors. It's a co-op. I'm the only non-actor person. The actors all own the film with me. Actor has been amazingly supportive. And we were looking for an old-fashioned makeup mirror because there's drag queens in it, and I wanted one of those old makeup mirrors with the bulbs. And they don't sell them; you can't rent them. They're all fluorescent, and they have the tube lighting. It just doesn't cut it, right? So I put it on Facebook. Anyone have one of those old? Someone had one in the basement. I picked it up the next day.
See, that's how you do it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Whether you were to call around and search for one.
I did, though. I spent a few days trying to find one.
Now you know better. You just ask
on Facebook.
Facebook.
Somebody help me. Yeah.
Somebody find this thing.
I need this. Yeah, for sure.
So your new project, the web series.
Yep. This year, I worked with my daughter, Katie Boland, on two things. Actually, Looking as the Original Sin is a feature film that now is finally finished, and I'm talking to distributor. And a web series called Long Story Short, which I'm very, very excited about. And we're also talking to someone in Los Angeles. So that's like an international thing because it's on the web and then it's everywhere. But you still have to kind of promote it and sell it. And these people are very excited by it because they saw the trailer that you saw.
The trailer's great.
Yeah, and I have the actors are great. Katie wrote it; she stars in it. So it was, it's exciting, and I'm really proud of the series. It's come together. I'm just looking at the final 3. I mean, I've seen everything, but I'm going in tomorrow and Friday to do hopefully the final edit. Katie's been involved in the edit, locking in the music. We're going to have lots of amazing young musicians are involved, and we're going to link it to the web thing, and maybe have their videos, or maybe shoot a video. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. No, it's smart.
You got to cross promote. Well, maybe you guys doing like a launch party for it.
I don't know. We're talking about it. We're going to do something.
Do it and invite the bands.
Yeah, and it's happening all at the time that Katie's book's coming out. Katie wrote a book of short stories called Eat Your Heart Out that's being published by Brindle and Glass. And so she has a big book party on the 2nd of April. And so this will, we hope, will be done and launched. Just, now we have to, color correct and mix and everything and then get it all done. Yeah, for the middle of April.
Very exciting.
It's very exciting, and we have great actors. We have Katie Boland, we have Lauren Collins, who's from Degrassi. We have Tommy Amber Peary, who has been interviewed in this thing. She's amazing, and I've known Lauren since she was like 9 or 10 years old. Tommy is, we've become very, very close, and she's just amazing on it.
She's lovely.
Yeah. Michael Cedar, who's done a couple of series, Life with Derek, and what was the last one called? 18 to Life, or anyway.
Yeah,
amazing. 18 to Life. Yeah, he's great. He also did a series called Zach Files with Katie, so I've known him since he was a little boy. Well, not so little, 12, I think. And Adam Butcher is in it, and Noah Reid, like a whole bunch of amazing young actors, and they're great, and it's really terrific. I'm very excited.
And Katie said it'll make you hip.
That's right. I said that last time. She did. And we actually have Mike McLaughlin as a DP who's been, he's just great. He's won all kinds of awards for music videos and stuff. And Katie said to me, Mom, this web series is going to make you really hip. You'll be a lot cooler than you are now when people see that you directed this web series. So
fun.
And I think that's true because it's pretty cool. It looks great.
I started doing this in November, and for me, I wanted to do it because I wanted to be able to have an excuse to have chats with people like you.
Right.
Where you normally don't. Like we had this conversation on the podcast you won't get to see. Talking about the idea that it's like as filmmakers, you rarely get a chance, unless you're friends before or become friends, however, to chat with other filmmakers.
Or to watch other filmmakers work or
it's just tough because you're working on your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you rarely get to go on other sets that aren't your own.
Yeah.
And you're often the least experienced person on set, depending on how long you've been doing it.
Yeah.
Or if you haven't been a hybrid, like you said, you did still, so you were on lots of sets and had...
Yeah, I was lucky because I took pictures of Terry Fox, and then they did the Terry Fox movie in Toronto and called Maclean's. I was freelancing then. For magazines, Time and Maclean's and people all over the world. And Maclean suggested they hire me. So they hired me and I went on set and then I did a book on Terry Fox. They're using my book for sets and wardrobe and I thought, this is cool. And I made a lot of money and I did a poster that won an Art Director's Award in Los Angeles. So then the next movie that Bob Cooper, who produced it, was with Elizabeth Taylor and he hired me. And so then that was my career as on set. Kind of like it Finds You. I always thought that, journalism was maybe more important than drama, but then... so I think now that you can tell the truth more in fiction, sometimes. But I still think one photo can be stronger. And then the last time you said, or a short film. But I disagreed with that.
Or a web series.
Maybe a web series.
A series of short films, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so for me, so I started doing this a couple months ago.
Well, how did you got the interview job here for these podcasts?
Gave it to I told Goldhar that I was going to do a podcast.
I'm
and
doing
he said,
it.
okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
so you guys are friends.
Yeah, he was an executive producer on Sex After Kids, and he
right. That's right. I forgot that. No, I know Ryan. I know him really well.
And for me, it was also kind of like wanting to be able to hang with people like you, but also as a filmmaker and knowing like how important Twitter is and that kind of stuff. It was a way for me because when you're making a film or whatever, you're connecting with an audience maybe every year or a couple of years if you're lucky. So for me, it was a way to kind of keep a constant audience thing going on and connection with.
Wow, publicizing.
Huh?
All about marketing now.
Look at me, I'm a whore.
Yay, good for
I'm
you.
okay with that. All right.
Questions?
5 questions. And you've seen the podcast, you know the rules.
I did. I watched Tommy's. Okay, I'll hand it to you. I won't read it.
I promise.
It's like a fortune cookie. No.
It is kind of. Someone, Paula Branchetti was on, and she was like, you should make fortune cookies.
Yeah.
And I looked into it, and it's not cheap.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I think because you can order like a bunch of the same ones, but I can't just have the same questions. But someone else is like, you can just order empty card cookies and stuff them in. I'll break them all with my mitts, so they'll be good. What's the similarities between being a filmmaker and being a parent?
That's a really good question. Well, people call me Mom a lot on set. Tommy calls me Mama now, as does Wes Williams, who's Maestro.
Do you ground people? You're like...
I think that as a director, I say what I think I do in my job the most is I sculpt emotions. That's kind of what you're doing when you're directing, or that's what I'm trying to do. I think that you have to be really tuned into what actors are feeling and doing. I think I'm pretty good at reading people. I think I'm very intuitive. I direct from here, not from here, and I try to get actors out of their heads. I don't analyze everything to death and talk about their backstory and their motivation stuff. You kind of have to be right there in the moment. You really do. And I think that you have to be maybe the same skill is good with children, because Katie always said, "It's not, get out of my head. You can read my mind. I didn't want you to know that." And I think to be close to people, I tend to get pretty close with actors, and I maintain friendships. Clay Bennett and I are extremely, extremely close. We're like family now. We did a series called LaLonde together, and that's I worked with Wes Williams on 2 series, but The Line was written by George Walker, and it's probably some of the best material I've ever directed for HBO, and I directed all the episodes of the first season and half of the second season. So you're living with people, and you also have to try to make a harmonious atmosphere so people can do their best work. So I guess when you have your kids, you're trying to support them. Like I come from a place of support, but also the buck stops here. So there's all you also have to.
You're a mom.
It's like like I am collaborative. I would say my son in particular would say that I'm probably way more collaborative on set than I was with him when he was a kid. I don't know, just thinking that. But if an actor says to me, "No, I don't want to do it that way. It's got to go." I think it should be like this. I rarely say absolutely not. I think it's a dumb director that comes to set with, this is how this part should be played, this is how it should happen, because you need to be open to your actor's life as well, and they're bringing their whole world and all their emotions and everything to the scene or to the movie.
Well, they're not
so then let them, and then don't decide it has to be that way, because then it could be even way better the way they did it, right? So I'll do a couple different ways.
And in theory, they put some thought into it.
They put some thought into it, but I think sometimes actors can fall into the trap of putting too much thought into things, because that's a fear thing. Like you think and think and think and analyze, and a lot of that's bullshit. Yeah. I believe. That's only my belief. I'm not saying don't do any homework. I'm not saying like people have to come prepared and they have to know, but I think that
there's a lot to be said about that.
It's like real life, like it's not like waiting to say your next line. It's like you're there and you're living it. It has to feel like it's got to be the first time, the first time you've heard it. And it's like, I prepare a lot when I'm that's also like parenting. You can read a lot of books and you can, do all the latest thing on parenting, but it's got to come from here. You got to feel, right? It's like in any kind of relationship, I think. You have to be tuned into other people.
What
Look
else
them
is
in the
going on?
eye.
Yeah.
You know, trust them, have them trust. It's a trust thing for sure. Directing an actor, it's a trust thing, and so in order to do that, you have to really connect.
And what's interesting, and I just this clicked with this question in particular is because you work with your daughter a lot.
Right.
You are working
right.
so how's the transition between like being Katie's mom and being Katie's director? Do you find you go into a different mode, or is it like
it's very professional. She calls me mom on set, though. I mean, it's not like, you know. But and it's weird. I mean, she's my daughter. She's always my daughter, but she's, you know, a great actress. So it's definitely a working relationship that we have. And maybe does she roll her eyes a little more with me? Probably when somebody says something, but it's very professional. She's very professional, and so am I. And so, though we have the relationship, there's probably more shorthand, you know.
Yeah. Well,
right. But it's like, I mean, sure, with Katie, I probably have the most shorthand of anybody. But like with Clay Bennett, Clay and I work together. I mean, that's why you'll see directors work often with the same actors. Woody Allen, like a number of people will use the same actors, and I think that happens. You know each other more and more and more, and you know, it just gets easier.
And you also know when someone else can go further too. You like,
I always push people to go for it, to jump in. You know, just jump off the cliff. You know, that's what it's about. You have to, and that's when you see, you know, you have to stop watching yourself and thinking about it and.
Yeah, well, I think it's true. Just when they
scary, right? Imagine being an actor. Have you ever acted?
In high school, like in high school theater, no, thank you.
I took an acting class once, and it was like, I mean, I've never wanted to be an actor.
I've done enough to understand that, to respect the craft.
It's the hardest job on set, yet they make it look like the easiest job on set when they're great. I mean, imagine delving into all your emotional shit forever, right? And there it is, and crying, and you know, and feeling it, you know, having to go through, because that's what a great actor does. And they also give you choices, you know, a lot of choices, a lot of options, and a lot of layers, you know, a lot of colors, you know, a lot of it's amazing, really. Channeling sometimes, I think. I don't know if you know, I do believe in that. Yeah. Did that answer the question?
That was a good answer. Question number 2.
Question number 2. There you go.
Oh, this is like an actor question.
Okay.
Get you another one.
Another question.
Some of them I can kind of change around, but some of them I can't really. Oh my God, it's the same. I can't. I'm sorry. Look at this.
Let me mix it up a little more in here.
It's my bad. Sometimes I can adapt them. I'm just apologizing left, right, and center.
Stop.
What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory. I remember being in a carriage, being pushed in a carriage. So I remember being in a playpen a couple years ago on Jones Avenue with my mother and my parents. When I was a kid, first born, rented a flat in a house on 13 Shadell Avenue, which is Jones and Danforth area, and pushed me up Jones. And someone was cutting the grass, and the grass hit me in the face when I was in the carriage.
Is it the smell too and everything?
The smell, everything. Like, and I remember the grass coming up and hitting me.
So do you sometimes, like, you smell fresh cut grass, you flash back to
smells are amazing, right? To bring everything back. You know, smells very powerful.
Like, that was the one thing, because my mother passed away when I was a teenager.
Aww.
And it was like, but it was something like that. Like, it was her perfume. Like, whenever I smelled that, it was like, it would all of a sudden.
Cry?
It was just like a wealth of
very
emotion.
Visceral, right?
And it would take, and that's the one of the things that I think connects me still to her now. Because now I'm almost at the point where she's been gone as long as she was there for me. And so smell is still one of the things that I think is the strongest connection between my memories to her.
Sure.
It's because I smell.
And emotion, right?
Yeah, and it's like, well, it just instantly pulls you back, and you're instantly 8 years old again, and you're eating ice cream or doing whatever you're doing. Or like she had a paper route, and so I went to the summers where I'd spent with her. So it was like I flash back, and I'm at Kentucky Fried Chicken wherever we had lunch, or listening to talk radio because that was her thing. It's amazing.
Sad. That's a sad story.
No, it's good memories and life's hard. Yeah. But it's nice. But it's an amazing smell. That's why I asked about the grass. It's like, is that something that? No,
I can still smell it.
And you said for like a carriage, so like 3 or really?
Oh
young?
No, I was really young, like really young. I remember being in in a crib.
Is it a girl thing? My wife has amazing memory of like being really young, and
I don't know. Just little glimpses, right? Little.
I
remember very vividly being 3 and 4, and my mother was pregnant with my sister, and then when my sister was born, that's like I can access all of that, but even younger. But being in a crib, and my dad was a musician, country and western musician. He was going out. My mom didn't want him to go out, and she was saying, and I remember her saying it, although I don't even know if I could talk. Tell Daddy not to go out. She shouldn't have done that.
I used to climb into my parents.
I remember thinking, don't go out.
I used to climb into my parents' bed in the middle of the night and kick my dad out.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember him coming out, like, waking up in the morning and he'd be sleeping on the couch.
That happens a lot, I think, because I think you should sleep with your children.
We do the co-sleeping thing.
Oh, yeah. I believe in that.
We did. It was funny because we had, because our youngest, who's a little over a year, she starts off in the crib, and then about halfway through the night.
Oh, yeah.
She just comes in. And then our son.
Katie we still lie down together sometimes. Let's talk.
But our son, it was funny because our son, who was about 2.5 when the baby was born, he was still coming in like 3/4 through the night and spending the last hour.
You hear the feet coming in. Yeah,
and he would and it was easier to let him come in than try to put him back down. But when the baby was born, we're all in there. He was just one night. He was just like, "This is nuts," and he got back out and he walked back and he hasn't come in since.
Oh, that's perfect.
He's like, I'm out.
Too crowded.
Number 3.
There you go.
Okay, let's see. Oh, how did your mom and dad meet?
This is a good story. My parents are both from Newfoundland, which was cool to go back and do Republic of Doyle because I got to visit relatives.
Are you from there then too?
I was born in Toronto, but we used to go there in the summers when I was a kid all the time. I spent a lot of time there when I was a kid. And I went when Katie was 4. We went because I was doing a thing called A Day in the Life of Canada, which is a photography thing. Or no, that was another one. That was a Quebec Newfoundland exchange, and they had me do the Newfoundland part. I don't know how I got involved in that, but so I hadn't been there for like 20 years almost, 19 years when I went back to do a Republic of Doyle the first time. So back to my parents. My mother was dating my dad's uncle, who was actually 2 years younger than him, because my grandmother and her mother were having kids at the same time. And he said, I'm bringing my nephew along. And so she expected a little boy. And in walked my dad, who looked like a movie star, like gorgeous and charming and charismatic. And, my dad steps on stage and you can't take your eyes off him. Yeah. I mean, he just played the Ryman Auditorium when he was 80 in Nashville. My brother has done a documentary film about him called Paper Promises. There's a website and you can, download it. It's an amazing film. Check it out. Get into that. Check it out. So anyway, they saw each other, and then that was like love at first sight. And then she never dated my uncle Eric again, and I think he was mad for a while, but they fell in love and got married, and yeah.
That's like I had this girl I dated in high school, and we broke up, and it wasn't a great breakup. But then she started dating a friend of mine, and of course they've been together now for like 12 years, and they're married.
Right.
And so it's like you can't
be mad at that.
No, because it's like clearly they were meant to be together, and we were not. Yeah. Because that relationship lasted.
Yeah. You're happy now.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
They're married and kids.
Good.
And,
I'm set for life. Yeah.
Heartbreak's a hard thing.
And especially when you're a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Because you feel everything's so intense. Anytime, sure. But when you're a teenager and you're feeling all those things and you kind of just... But you kind of need that. I can feel bad for any teenagers.
The thing about heartbreak is that you loved a lot.
Yeah. Question 4?
Question 4. I'll mix it up.
Yeah, do that. I don't know. They're all
actor questions.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I can adapt. This is a new one.
Yay. Am I the first one that you've asked this question to?
Yeah, you are. It's funny because there's a whole bunch in there that still haven't gotten to when I first put them in. This is kind of an actor question, but you can do it anyway. Okay. Because if you could voice over any cartoon, what would it be? You could be like a character.
You mean I want to change it? No, I'd have to be the Roadrunner.
The Roadrunner? Yeah. Just be me. You give one line.
It'd be easy. We still love the Roadrunner though.
You record it once and you collect the royalties for the rest of your life.
I don't have any big, interesting thing to say about that. I don't know. My dad loved that cartoon, so I think that's memories of watching that with my dad. He thought it was hilarious. Right?
Well, now you have to do your Roadrunner.
I've never done it.
It's a sound. There you go. I'll be too quiet though. You have to let me talking over it.
Come on, I'm not an actor. I'm not doing it. Question 5.
Oh wow, it was kind of there. I kind of had you doing it. All right.
This is the last question.
It could be a bonus.
We could do a bonus question.
This is a music question.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I've never had this many, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm apologizing. I'm going to stop apologizing.
You're so Canadian.
That's true. Do you parallel park or drive around the block?
I parallel park.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes I hit the curb with my tires, but I don't care. I'm a great parallel parker. I can park in a little tiny space by zigzagging.
What kind of car do you drive?
I have a Ford, just a big Ford.
So is it easier?
That's easy. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I'd have a little tiny one. Sorry. That's a bad story. That's a bad question. Let's get another question.
I'm officially.
Let's get another question, number 5.
Bonnie doesn't like it. I can't retire a question.
I think it's a great question.
Okay, well that's fine. But let's do another question. 5. Question 5.
Question
5.5.
Bonus
Question 5.5.
Bonus question. It's my podcast.
You can do whatever you want.
My rules up.
We can do 10 questions.
It's another actor question.
Okay, I'm gonna use my other hand now. Maybe I could answer. I could probably answer actor questions too, though. I know a lot. Another one. I know a lot about acting.
This is terrible. But they're it's
really specific.
I'll show you them after. Yeah,
I don't care. I don't need to see them.
This is a fun last question.
Okay.
What have you learned? What have you learned most about yourself from being a filmmaker?
Whoa, that's a good question.
And with a heavy one.
I need to think about that. I think you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with storytelling, you're dealing with memories from actors and yourself. So I think that I've tried to learn a lot about, or I guess from watching it, or how would you communicate that feeling visually or whatever. So I guess you go into your own feelings and you learn about why you felt a certain way about things, and remember a lot of things that you've experienced, and maybe that feels like that, or maybe so you can try and remember through your own life what the character's doing. So I guess a lot like actors do, if they're I guess method actors do it that way. I think you have to try to have some insight into. I'm just really curious about people, and I think that you're trying to, whether it's photography or any kind of art, filmmaking, you're trying holding up a mirror to life and trying to figure out what the truth is and what's important. And so I guess it's a constant. I'm sure I could do it more, but I try to really, try and figure it out.
Get to the honesty or something.
Yeah, get to the truth. I think that if you find the truth and tell the truth and feel the truth, or I try not to bullshit yourself in a lot of ways, and I think that's, I'm always asking actors to do that. I am pretty blunt, but I think not in a bad way. A great actor would want you to just, they always say, no, I want you to tell me the truth, and I think, in relationships too, in life, I think telling the truth is important. You don't hurt someone's feelings necessarily, so sometimes I could learn how to tell the truth maybe in a softer way. I'm working on that, for sure.
And one step at a time.
Yeah. But I guess, I just think you learn a lot if you study people, and so, you study yourself, study other people.
That's why I
think a lot.
I like and that's what attracts me to writing is coming up is a character, or it's like getting it and just disappearing into that person's head and letting them. I think it's a schizophrenic thing too, but it's just like having a bunch of people in your head and letting them talk, and also, but I think what's interesting too is just challenging your own beliefs with, because you have to have conflicts and counters, so it's like. If you're arguing one side, someone has to argue the other side. So it forces. Well,
what I often do? I often have an actor play against the way it's written. And I think that's more interesting because I think that and there's no black and white. I don't think in the world. I think it's all gray, and so even somebody who's a murderer, they don't think they're a bad guy.
Everyone thinks they're a good guy, yeah.
They're doing it for a reason, or they could be nuts and think they're doing it for a reason. But nothing is simple, and so I think that you need to layer in drama. You need to layer in life. Everything's layered, and I'm always trying to, like I said, like intuitively feel what people are really saying or what an actor is really communicating with their work, because it can't just be here. I think that, well, for drama, for sure, that's boring. And as I said early on, I don't know if I said it in this interview or the previous one, but like boring is a killer for me.
Yeah.
So, when I'm editing, I just get rid of if it's boring, I can't do it. And I'm like that in life too. I hate boring. And I don't think anybody's boring. I think everybody's got a story and everybody's got something behind their eyes. And, so I think, I don't know if it's true. I'm sure I could be way more insightful and analyze myself more. But I guess that's what I've learned.
So when here's that just made me think of something. So when about the boring thing, how do you deal with it when you're watching? You're editing a film, and you're watching the same scenes over and over again. Like you kind of, how do you naturally not get bored just by repetition?
I do. I do.
Do you find that's a problem? Like that's hard
I don't like to sit with the editor through the editing. I don't sit there. You and I we work with John. I don't know if you sat. You didn't sit there, did you?
I'm also an editor, so it's like for me, it's just like I can.
If you're going to sit there, then you should have just edited it yourself. Because again, it's the same thing, right? It's like I need new eyes. Like if I sit there, I'll start to go, I hate this character, or I hate this scene, or I can't judge because you've often written it, watched it on set, rehearsed it, shot it, blocked it, watched the rushes, thought about it, and then edited it and watched the scene 100 times. I find it very difficult, but I don't think I'm the only one. I remember I was at a screening with Milos Forman, and he introduced the film, and then he was leaving. I said, "Oh, you're leaving?" He said, "I've seen this film like 1,000 times. Like I can't watch it again."
Yeah, I never. I know if someone else is editing my stuff, I let them do a first pass. Because as an actor, I want to see. Because I could have edited myself. Yeah. If I'm getting you to do it, it's because I want you to bring something.
Absolutely.
That I would have thought of,
well, you might be too close to it. I think that's a problem too, right?
Yeah.
When you're too close to it, you can't judge. I remember my first film, I wanted to cut out a scene, and Rick Morden, who edited it, said, "Don't cut this scene out. Don't cut it out. This scene is great." And I thought, "Oh, it goes on. I hated it," and I trusted him, and it stayed in. And I think a year after the film came out, I was flipping channels like late at night, and there was my film, and I watched it, and that was one of the most moving scenes in the whole film. But I couldn't, and I learned that was my first film, and I learned that I can't always judge. Like something that because maybe it is because I'm sick of it, or maybe it is that's a really hard thing. Seen it too many times. Or, maybe it's too personal, something that you've written or something, I don't know why that happens, but that happens. But if something's boring, I just get rid of it.
It's gone.
And even on the set, if you're blocking a scene or rehearsing a scene, it seems boring, I'll shake it up.
Yeah.
Change it. Or if something's not working, you do. I don't do a lot of takes. I don't know how you shoot, but I do. If you don't have it by 3, you won't get it by 20. Usually, and I often shoot the rehearsal because, now you don't have to worry about film. Yeah. And sometimes the sound guy's pissed off, because the boom's in and they get mad. But I don't care about that stuff. I think that sometimes the first kick at the can is the best, or you get something, or part of it will be really special.
But you kick yourself, you don't shoot the rehearsal.
You go, that was perfect!
Just do it just like that. Yeah. And it never can.
It's never, that's also amazing, right? It's never really exactly the same.
Yeah.
No matter how much they try, or it shouldn't be, because it's, life goes on and something's different, and craft's over here, and somebody didn't get their coffee, so then, all that is in the scene too, right?
Butterfly fluttered differently.
Whatever, whatever it is.
I love fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, so how I end it is, and Tommy is at fault for this, is you either have to arm wrestle me, or you have to display some kind of talent. And I feel awkward.
I'll arm wrestle you.
Jesus, I'm kind of scared of this. Okay.
Now Tommy. I'm sure you're gonna kill me, but.
Well, I'm not gonna.
Oh, you're not gonna really try?
Oh, look at you! Now I have to try. Holy cow! You got.
Yeah, right. Sure.
No! You came in hard at the beginning.
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know. We didn't really do a proper counting. Gail kind of cheated.
Yeah, I cheated. That's okay too.
Right,
I do yoga and I work out.
See, I don't do yoga. That's your advantage.
Yeah, once somebody said to me, "How come you're so calm on a set?" And why are you freaking out? I said,
Because I'm an expert.
I'm doing yoga. Actually, I'm breathing right now. I'm doing yoga breathing.
Right now?
No, I didn't. Okay, I won't go there.
And we're out. But it's because you do your breathing and your.
I'm gonna try to meditate and stuff too. Like I don't know.
No point being freaking out.
It's good to be strong too. You know, to be strong. Because how could you do
You
this
are
job
strong.
if you weren't strong? You know, you work 12, 14 hours a day. You know, I don't drink. I eat properly. I work out. You know.
Yeah, you'll age really quickly.
No.
Especially if you.
If you don't. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
For sure.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to insinuate that you were aging quickly.
No. But I thought you were making a joke that if you did all that stuff and exercise, well, then you would age.
No, you wouldn't if you don't. Because
somebody said that you'll live longer, but it'll just seem. What was it? Somebody told me, if you eat properly and you don't drink, you don't smoke, all that, you'll live longer, but it'll seem.
It'll seem longer?
No, you'll live shorter, but it'll seem. I don't know. Whatever. It's a dumb. But anyway, I think it's really important. Like for me, anyway. Other people can go out and party and show up on set and be organized. Not me. Can't do it.
Well, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
So this has been
fun.
5 Questions with Jeremy. This is Gail Harvey. You can check out Can You Do the Thing? You can check her out on Twitter, and here's her website and all that.
All that stuff. And actually, longstoryshortseries.com.
Yeah.
Put that up too. I don't have anything for the movie yet.
It's okay, but you can look for it. Looking is Original Sin.
Yep.
And look for the web series. Should be up in April.
And actually, okay. Web series is in April. I was just gonna plug my Lost Girl
Do it.
episode, but that's
Go for
March
it.
3rd, and this isn't coming out until April, so it'll be too late.
But you can. They have them on the website.
Yeah, no, they do.
So
I have a
which
couple of them.
episode was yours?
I forget the number, but it's called. This was called "There's Bo Place Like Home." Bo
fun.
goes home, finds your mother. Yeah, and another one called "Delinquents." I did.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So check those out.
And my, of course, my Republic of Doyle episode aired against the Oscars.
That's tough.
Yeah, but anyway, that was a good one too. It was called Brigus. It was shot in a fishing village, which was fun. It was good.
They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you like the show, like us on Facebook, and if you have any questions, I will add them to the jar.
People write in.
People, there's a lot of the new ones are write-ins.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good.
And we're out.